Hiya, Martin here at Martin's Bazaar again. Thanks for joining me. It's November and people are starting to think about Christmas and decorating their houses and stuff. The other week I was watching an American woodturner called Carl Jacobson turn an inside-out Christmas ornament, and it inspired me to have a go at my own. I'd never done one before, and here is my take on the inside-out Christmas ornament. A little snowman in a flower, I suppose, flowery thing, I guess, on a base. You'll see in the video, but it's tulip wood. Can't remember what this wood is. The snowman is American ash with tortured willow arms and nose, and the base of the whole thing is some Santa Maria. His hat and base have been scorched a little bit, and they've had some gold gilt rubbed in as well. So if you have subscribed to me on YouTube, thank you very much indeed, very much appreciated. And likewise, if you've liked my Facebook page, thank you very much indeed. So without further ado, here is the video, and thank you very much indeed for watching. Bye bye. To make the inside-out Christmas ornament, I'm going to start off with 4 blocks of wood that have been cut to the same length and sanded, and then to get them, just to give them a little bit of security on the lathe, I'm going to add a little dab of hot glue to them, and then I'll tape them up as well. Wow, that has worked really quickly. So that's those two, they're nice and flush on this side, and I'm going to put them together in a checker pattern like that, which I think will look quite nice. So I'll just add a little dab of glue to those as well. There we go. That is the this is going to be the inside of the box, or the ornament rather. So I need to turn the inside of the ornament first. So I put the inside out, and then when the inside is done, unglue it, untape it, turn all the pieces around, and then stick them back together again. So let's get this onto the lathe and see what we can do with it. Here we go. It's on the lathe now. Down this side I've got it on a 4-pronged centre, and over here on the right hand side it's on a live centre. Right, what I want to do on the inside is have a shape kind of like that. Or anyway, I'm not entirely certain what's going to happen with it, to be honest, so so let's just see what happens, because I've never done an inside-out ornament like this before, and it is slightly scary because there are 4 lumps of wood that are held together with some glue and some tape. So okay, right, here we go. That's most of the main shaping done. I need to still do a little bit down here, but I got a couple of catches up the top here, so I need to reshape. I need to carry on shaping right up to the top here, which will be interesting. I hope it'll be alright, although they need to be square. Might have to trim it down a little bit, I think, on the saw, but I'll see. There we are. There's the preliminary shaping of the inside of the ornament done. I just need to sand it up and finish it, and I'm going to have to trim down some of these sides because they don't quite match, but that's my fault. I was part way through sanding with a 40 grit paper, and I decided that I want to take a little bit more off this angle here. So that's what I'm going to do. Take a little bit off. Hope I don't regret this. And there we go. The inside is nearly done. It's got a coat of woodturner's lathe polish on there at the minute, which should be dry shortly. And then when that's dry, it'll be I'll buff it up, and then I need to break these apart in order to turn them round in on themselves, so they form the inside and not the outside. But I also need to turn the snowman that's going to sit on the inside of the ornament. So I need to kind of work out how big Mr. Snowman is going to be. And there is the inside done. Now, so the inside is currently on the outside. So what happens next is I take these two bits, turn them in that way, and glue them together, and then turn the outside of the piece. Yeah, so and I'm going to put a snowman on the inside here, so I've got to work out how big Mr. Snowman is going to be. Ruler, there it is. So I need to measure across there, and Mr. Snowman can be 50mm wide by 100mm tall to the top of his hat. That'll look quite nice. Now in American, that's 2 inches wide by say 4 inches high. So that's the next bit, and then the whole lot will be glued together like so-ish, something like that, with the snowman glued on the inside, hopefully. Let's see what happens, shall we? Snowman time! Right, in the chuck is a lump of target circle, what it is. Just turn it round and then shape the snowman. White stain, char is hat and head. So hat, head, body, that body. But I'm going to turn it round first. Get some mask on. That's nearly round, so I'm just going to mark up around the hat, so that's the very top of the hat. Main body about there. Something like that. So with the spindle gouge, I'm just going to play with it really. Go. That'll do. It's fairly rough, but he's good enough to finish. I will finish him. polish him, and then I'll come back to you. And here's Mr. Snowman. He's got his hat, his head, shoulders, body, and kind of nice chunky legs. And I'm going to put a little stain on him, just a little bit of stain, just to turn him a tiny bit whiter. So with the lathe running really slow, about 500 revs, gonna just a very light stain, just to turn him a little bit whiter. I'll let that dry off whilst I scorch his hat. I've dusted off the lathe bed, and then I'm just going to give a little scorching to his hat, because I don't want to stain it black. Step is I'm going to take the tip of a pencil with a tiny amount of black stain and give him 2 eyes and a few dots for a mouth. Then I'm going to drill a hole and whittle down a piece of tortured willow to be his nose. So just with a tiny amount of black stain on the tip of a pencil. Some eyes, and then a nice big smiley mouth, only looking slightly sinister. Drill time now. I've got a 2mm drill bit, which is I think it's about 1/16 of an inch, and I'm just going to make a hole there, I think, for Mr. Snowman's nose. There you go. That's close enough. Little hole for his nose, and this one is 3mm. 3mm. So I want one arm, not quite on the side, so one arm there, and one arm there. Okay, that's close enough. Adding just a tiny drop of CA glue into his nose cavity, as it were, and then very carefully stick his nose in, and there we have a snowman with a cute little face, an orange nose, and no arms, but I'll be coming on to his arms a bit later. And just with the little test fit, just to see if the snowman will sit inside his new home. He does, which is really cool. Now my original idea was to actually glue him in place before I turned the outside, because I didn't want him to be able to be removed. But as you can see, I turned him a little bit small, so he does actually fit gaps. So what I need to do next is glue this lot together and turn it down. time to glue these together. Everything wasn't quite as square as I had hoped when it was on the lathe first time around, so I'm going to have to glue these together as closely to correct as possible, and then sand back the various bits so they are nice and square. And I've got some clamps to help me keep it all together. The two halves, or rather the 4/4 of the snowman's house have been glued together, and just to smooth out the bottom down here a little bit, I've gone through with the sandpapers again by hand or by finger, rubbed it down to 600 grit, added some Danish oil and some woodturner's lathe polish, and I'm just going to wait for the glue to set, and then I will come back to it tomorrow. Hi, day 2, or rather part 2 of making the Snowman Christmas ornament, and the glue has set on the actual bit where the snowman's going to sit. I'm not entirely certain what to call it yet, but because I've got an opening at the top, I can't turn the outside of the thing between centres, so I need to put it onto a worm screw. So I need to make the bottom of the item nice and flush, and I have my homemade sanding wheel here with a table and a fence set at 90 degrees to the wheel. And there we are, nice and smooth and flush on the bottom. Now I need to drill a hole down here, 25mm deep hole, about an inch, to fit the worm screw. Mounted the ornament onto the worm screw. It spins quite happily at about 1000 RPM, and then at this end I've got a plastic football that's held in with the revolving centre just to give it some support at this end. Right, best get to turn it then, I suppose. I'm not entirely certain what I'm going to do with it. I do obviously need to turn it round, and I want to follow this contour fairly closely, or as closely as I possibly can, and then because I've got the worm screw hole at the bottom, I'm going to have to make a base for the whole thing to sit on. So I need to turn it all round, narrow that down a little bit, and just kind of see what happens with it, really. Oh well, I have a recently sharpened spindle gouge. Let's see what happens with it. Fingers crossed, full face shield on. I'm taking very light, careful cuts with this, because obviously if I get a catch in here somewhere, then the whole lot's just going to explode. So I won't bore you with the whole process. I'll just do it, and then I'll come back to you. Right, the shape is coming together. The walls are getting nice and thin now. Slightly scary, to be honest. The glue joints at the top here have got themselves far too thin, so they've actually broken. So I've decided that I'm going to turn the top off take the top off about here, but just to add, for a little bit of extra safety, I've taped it together. These joints down here are absolutely fine, but because the wood's getting quite thin, I've taped it round just to give it a little bit of extra security. So I'm going to take it off to about here, kind of 0.5 millimeter at a time. You can hear the wood shaking. Oh, gosh, I'm glad that's over. Right, the main shaping of, well, the shaping of the object is done. Because the glue joints at the top here broke, and I had to finish shaping, there's quite a lot of tear out on the wood, as you might be able to see. So it means I've got an awful lot of sanding to do, because I'm certainly not taking any more tools to it. I've turned a little bit of a base down the bottom here. Don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I've turned a bit of a base down here, so I can turn another thing for this just to sit in. Right, time to sand it, and hopefully I still won't break it. Well, here she is, the main inside out part of the object. And the next bit for me to do is make the base out of this little piece of Santa Maria, and then place and glue this bit into that bit. I've made the base a little bit shorter, and I've remarked the circumference of the base that I want, or the recess that I want to fit the base of the thingy. Now I just need to carve it down to 13 millimeters, which is the depth of this bit here. So 13 mil should be good, I hope. Still. Right, let's see. Perfect. There you go. That's a lovely fit there. Now I just need to shape the outside of the base, and I'm done. That's it, sanded down to 400 grit. I want to put a black stripe around here using my blowtorch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 lines, one about there, one about there. Just a little cove in there and in there, and make the stripe in between the two, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. Remember first though to give your lathe a bit of a whoops. Don't drop your blowtorch. Remember to give your lathe a brushing down first, because you don't want to set it on fire. Because setting your lathe on fire is not going to do it any good. And then when the scorching's done, rub some gold gilt into it, I think. finishing off the Danish oil. Yeah, just finishing off the Danish oil. I've got some nice pores in the wood there that I can fill up with some gold gilt, which will bring out the natural, or help bring out the natural colours of the wood, because it does actually shine. This wood is rather nice actually. Santa Maria. I use Liberon gilt cream, which is very nice indeed. Get a load on the blue towel and just start rubbing it round. And that will fill up. Fill up all the pores in the wood. Almost like a sanding sealer. Oh wow, that has come up really nicely. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. Before I find the arms for the snowman, I ought to glue the top into the base. So just with some wood glue, blow the dust out of there. Load of glue in the bottom. That's better. And there is the base and the ornament itself. Yeah, I'm rather pleased with that. Next up, I need to find some arms for the snowman. I've got some more tortured willow that was given to me, and so I just need to find a nice bit that would do for a little snowman's arms. Cut that bit off. Oops. Should I cut that bit off? About there, I think. There we go. Mr. Snowman with his arms. Now I just need a little bit of CA glue in there and he'll be ready. And here we go. Here is our snowman in an ornament for 2014's Christmas. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you learnt something and maybe you've been inspired to make something like this for yourself. I hope so. It's been a great experience for me, my first inside out turning. It didn't turn out quite according to plan, but you know, I'm really happy with our snowman. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.